It stopped way too early.
I know. I'll have to fix
What
that.
happened?
Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. I am your host, the Moose, and I am joined today by the Candyman. Please remember before we get started, the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV, its GEC, nor any division, brigade, camps, or any other subsidiaries. How's everybody doing this evening?
Well, if it was any better, I couldn't stand it.
We've been having a fun time behind the scenes, and by fun time, I mean nothing. And I mean nothing wants to work for this poor producer. And it's just been a great day. So I hope everybody's doing well. Good evening. Good evening, Commander. We have the legend, Paul Gremlin Jr. in the chat. Not gambling, but Grambling.
Grambling. There's no B in it.
I know. I'm saying like that on purpose.
Oh, okay.
You're out of the organization. Oh, I just, insulted the past commander-in-chief.
You're going to call down the wrath.
Oh, yeah. I'm in trouble.
Oh, look, we got, let's see, we got Terry Akers, Jason and Lloyd, Charles Loray.
Charles Loray.
The one and only Todd Owens.
Oh, Todd's on. Fun fact.
So cold, I can see my breath.
Charles Loray will be on our show Monday.
Monday. We got some news to get into, Moose?
Yeah.
We got a lot of news tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we got a good bit. There you go. Read that.
I can't read that. What is wrong with you?
Okay. The Florida and Georgia Metcalf invites all SCV and Metcalf members to its second annual Confederate flag sight event. Last year's attendance was a total of approximately 75. Looking forward to a larger turnout this year. They give you directions. Their keynote speaker will soon be announced, which I'm guessing that Mr. Sean, who's always awesome with sending us stuff in, will help in updating the flyer and letting us know.
That's right. Right. That's a good time to plug Sean's show. Look Around Southwest Florida.
Yes. He sent us a video. I have to tell you, buddy, I didn't get a chance to look at it today. But if you start sending this stuff in, I'll I guess report on what you're reporting, and both shows help the other. So I love seeing shows like that pop up. I'm very happy. I've watched a couple episodes of Mr. Sean's show, and I really like it. It's awesome, and it's in quick digestible bites. And
hey, that happened this past weekend, by the way. That was February 19th, 2022. So that is past. That already happened.
Woo!
Man. It's the Candyman and Moose show, and I swear to God, we've been doing this for what? Almost a year and a half now, and we still can't get it right?
No,
I'm glad you guys tune in.
For a full year.
Hey, look, the Army of Trans Mississippi is on here tonight.
Hey, greetings. Love
ATM.
Here. Glad that y'all are here supporting, man. That's awesome. I don't think we've ever had a full-on Army page come and view the show. Victor says, way to go, Moose. That college education's really paying off, over $10,000 a year. Yep. Without
$10,000 a year. All right, next news story.
Next news story. We're just going to keep on rolling. This is from Mr. Ricky.
Hey, I talked to Mr. Ricky today. He's a great guy. He's always sending us stuff. But what's that say? Pennsylvania Vindicators SCV Camp 828 has been invited to South Boston, Virginia, to do a cannon demonstration at the show and event. Hey, Ricky told me that he's going to videotape some of that or record some of it, and he's going to send it in for us so we can show you guys. So, thanks, Ricky, for that. We appreciate it, man. Keep up the good work. You guys are doing the daggone thing out in Virginia. Good old Virginia.
Thank you.
South Boston. South Boston is in the great state of Virginia.
Okay, we've been doing this show too long.
That is right.
But yeah, thank you, Mr. Ricky, for sending us something in. But he always does send us great things.
Oh, the Hobbs camp. You got to love the Hobbs camp down in Athens, Alabama, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Hobbs Camp 768, Athens, Alabama, cleaned historic Stewart Cemetery in Limestone County on February 12th. 2 Confederate veterans were buried here with their families. Guys are out there doing a little bit of community service. That's great. We love seeing this kind of stuff. You guys keep up the good work down there in Athens, Alabama.
Yes. Please keep it up. And yeah, there's a little header right here for them. They helped bury Captain Hobbs, Company F, 9th Alabama Infantry.
Oh, okay. That is awesome.
That's awesome. All right.
9th Georgia Brigade.
So
whereabouts? David Pope, I have no idea. All I know is the Burton brothers that raced cars were from South Boston. If you ever saw Ward Burton talk on the TV, that's an interesting character there. I like that guy. He sounds like he's got molasses in his mouth.
All right, sorry, I'm doing way too much on this episode, so forgive me.
Okay, what's next?
All right,
because we got to get to Chuck in the back. Chuck Mack is in the back.
Chuck's got a lot of great things to talk about too, so I want to get him back on as quick as possible. Bless his heart. But this is sent to me by one of the members in my 5th Brigade. This kid is a go-getter, and he's hosting a great event, and I cannot wait to see how it turns out. I don't think I'll be able to attend, sadly, as I am all the way back up in northern Mississippi. This is closer to my hometown in southern Mississippi, but let me throw it up real quick. So the memorial service held by the Gainesville Volunteers, SCV Camp 373 at Pearson Cemetery will be
Pearson.
This is
Pearson.
I'm a history major. Cemetery on February 26th, this Saturday at 1 p.m. The cemetery is.
You got this.
I thought you.
Cemetery is located at Carrier. Let's say Carrier because it
Carrier,
sounds
Mississippi.
Carrier,
I've lived in Mississippi all my life. This is going great. And this will no doubt be a great event. We're going to start. I don't know if I told. I think Matt, you're supposed to remind me. We're going to start posting, if you send us flyers for your events, the flyers on the SCB chat page to help people out. So we're going to start doing that. It's something I've been wanting to do, but just either forget about it or, I have a lot going on. So we're going to start doing that. So we're going to be posting these flyers. But the last camp event, I'm pretty sure I could talk about this one. About 90% sure I should be able to talk about this one.
Okay.
Because it's my camp. So
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. The Samuel Poe camp invites you to come for and enjoy a good old morning outdoors turkey shoot with free coffee. So we here at the Samuel
you had me at free coffee.
Well, we're giving you free coffee first, and that's how we get you in the door. We've been doing this fundraiser for the past couple years. We hand out a scholarship every year to our high schools in the area, and we invite kids to write a paper on a battle in Mississippi. Maybe not a well-known battle in Mississippi. We've been sticking to smaller battles and skirmishes in Mississippi these past 3 years. Or I think 4 or 5. We've been doing that longer than we did the turkey shoot. But it is the goal of this is, of course, to get out there and teach our younger generations in our town that, first off, we're here to help. We're a positive influence in our community. And second, we care about your education. And so this event helps pay for the scholarship that we give out. It's a turkey shoot. It's great fun. I'll be there. The Daddy Moose will be there. I'm going to exit. And all of my camp members will be there, and we'll be all there to have a great time. It's been a blast these past 3 years, so I know this year is going to be great. It's from 8 to noon. It will be next Saturday, March 5th, 2022, in Shibuya, Mississippi.
That's right.
There's directions right there, and below you can't read it. It's basically tells everybody what the SCV is, how to contact our camp commander, which is my father, and the camp adjutant, which is me. And we'll be posting these all around our city to also, get awareness out to the cause. And
Carl Jones said there's going to be free spam. Is this true? Free
spam. Free spam. Carl, if you come, I will personally leave my own camp event that I'm supposed to be there to help run and get you spam. So yes. Let's see here. Jack. Jack is the lovely person that's putting on the event that was previous. He's helping. He was helping us pronounce it. Bless his heart.
Carrier.
It's hard to say, but those are 2 camp events that are this Saturday is Jack's, and next Saturday is mine.
Oh, hey, I want to post this real quick because I saw a preview of the new Confederate veteran that came out, and Kirby Smith Camp 1209. They're having their Confederate Park dedication 3/19 11 a.m. in Jacksonville. The new cover for the Confederate Veteran magazine is the Kirby Smith gate at their new Confederate Park. It's really cool. It's beautiful. They did an outstanding freaking job on that.
Well, awesome. I hope that's a great event, and if you send us a flyer for it, please. Again, I'm going to start posting the flyers after the show. That way they're on the page. That way if you're interested in these events, you have the information. It's just not us talking about it. So Jack's event will be posted, my events, Mr. Ricky's, and let's see here. I cannot remember the other ones. Yeah, it's just those.
Jack, you can email the editor-in-chief at eic@scv.org to get in touch with the editor-in-chief of the magazine.
Yes, please do. That's how we contact each other in the SCV. That's one of the many ways. And so you need to capitalize on that and get your camp events out there, because I know, Jack, it's going to be a great camp event. Again, I don't think I told you this, but I will not be able to go. I'm in northern Mississippi. I am a poor college student. I legit ate microwavable macaroni for supper. So I just can't make it right now with everything going on too. But Jack's event's going to be great. I think my father is going. So again, if you want to see the legendary Daddy Moose, the Sam Elliott of the SCV, please go support Jack's event. It should be awesome. I hate I'm missing it. And I guess without further ado, I think we're done. Oh, yeah. I am working because I don't know if anybody that went to the Battle of Texas Hospital. First off, I want to tell everybody, to update everybody. Heard it was a great event, had 300 plus reenactors there, which is awesome. Actually, I made a banner for it. I was making something special for y'all, and I don't think it was able to load through the chat. No. So that's one of the technical difficulties I was having, and why the chat started late is because the video wouldn't work. But if you are at the Battle of Texas Hospital, we will be posting a video showing all the great pictures, and I'll give it some more light next week because it is a bit unfair. You guys sent all these in, and my technology is not working to get it on the show tonight. But they had a great event. They had 300 plus reenactors. They had broken records. They had a lot of spectators. And so that is awesome. I love that event. Love to see that it did well. Hope to make it next year. But without further ado, I guess it's time for a quick commercial break, Pop-Tart break, and we can bring our – he's throwing his hands up in the background. We can bring on our special guest, and we'll get into his topic for the evening, which is going over the lovely S.D. Lee Institute. And he's giving me a time limit. I guess I'll go ahead and get
Let's roll.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Chuck Mac.
Yo.
Hello. We have a special guest, Past Commander in Chief.
First thing, you've got one more flyer that you didn't put up, the one that I sent in. We can do that first if you want.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Well, no, I wanted to be on anyway. Okay, I saw you see in the comments a lady by the name of Caitlin Yates Calhoun. She is the president of the Battle of Pleasant Hill down there that so much of us are involved in. Every year, it's in April. You can go to battleofpleasanthill.com to learn more about that reenactment that'll be in April. This is an event that's linked to that battle. The Confederate statue monument that used to be in Minden, Louisiana, was removed at the UDC's own request before bad things happened to it. But it's being moved down to the battlefield at Pleasant Hill. And March 5th, we're having a rededication of this Confederate monument on the actual battlefield at Pleasant Hill. And this is a flyer for that event. You can also sign up on there for the luncheon they're having that supports the battle and that things. You can also go to battleofpleasanthill.com to learn about the reenactment. But Pleasant Hill is something near and dear to all of us over here. One, it's on the original battlefield. The dog trot that we used there was there and used during the battle. The land is owned by an SCV member. The people that run the battle are either SCV members or married to SCV members. And young Caitlin here has done such a fabulous job making such a great event out of all of this. So if y'all are around Louisiana, Texas area, either one of the weekends, please check out Pleasant Hill. And which one are y'all having for the speaker? One of the Kennedys, Caitlin? I know y'all been joking about it. Who's the speaker?
Paul.
No, Paul said he was going to, it was a joke. During the battle, who's going to be the speaker? Come on, gal, you can type faster than that. Okay, Ron Kennedy will be speaking on the Saturday afternoon at the battle. So there you go. So there's that's my newsy thing that y'all can post there. And then now we can get into all the events, if you want to, that I sent in.
All right, yes, sir. And if you have a preferred way you want to go, I didn't.
Yeah, let's do the picture from the Stephen D. Lee first.
Okay. There you go.
All right, so there are our distinguished panel of the speakers there. Starting from the left, that's Dylan Myers. He is the executive director at Beauvoir. And then there's me. I was like the MC, gopher, whatever. And then you have Paul Gramlin, Don Kennedy, Eric Prevetti, y'all may not know, but he's one of our people up at headquarters who does technical stuff and everything, and he did a presentation on that. Past Commander-in-Chief, Christopher M. Sullivan, and then the cousin of the late, great Harold Philpott, Carl Jones. And they did a fabulous job. I think everybody had a really good time. I'll say one thing about the caterer Beauvoir uses. The food Saturday night was absolutely fabulous. You had some really good chicken. You had beef tips. You had a shrimp and pasta dish. They had peach cobbler. Man, it was good. Too bad you couldn't stay around for the banquet, Harrison. So,
Yeah.
And I will like to take this opportunity to thank the staff at Beauvoir, especially Kitsa Stevens. You know, the date that we had it down there really had no control over, because February, March is when we always have the Stephen D. Lee. And that was the only weekend that they gave me that they could have it down there. So there we go. I know there were 2 other events going on that I'll mention. One, of course, was Texas Hospital, which I've heard great stuff about. In fact, one member of the General Executive Council, our Army commander, J.C. Hanna, was at the reenactment at Texas Hospital and told me how great he thought it was, and you know, for future reference for people that can go. And the other event, if you'll bring up the picture, the Crew of Janus Parade.
My whole computer is just not working. There.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our event that I ended up having to miss, but, you know, I've done it 26 years, and then we've been doing it longer than that. This is Louisiana Division. It's the Crew of Janus in West Monroe and Monroe, Louisiana. And it's about a 4.5-mile trek, anywhere, depending on the weather, from 150 to 200,000 people cheering for the flags. And so here was the turnout we had for that. It's mostly headed up and organized by Past Louisiana Division Commander Thomas Taylor, who you'll see in the middle there in the kind of dark brown uniform kneeling down there. He was the one that kind of runs that up. But you'll see some of our other division officers. So they had a great time, and they said the crowd really enjoyed their presence there. So look for that again next year. Of course, the weekend it's on changes every year because Mardi Gras is different every year.
Sure.
So it's generally the 2 Saturdays before the actual day, which this year Mardi Gras is this coming Tuesday.
Yeah. Yes. Sir.
So
my family's big.
Right? The rest of, and so since it's Mardi Gras time, I just went around and gathered a bunch of pictures from some of the other parades and whatnot that we had. Let's see. You could bring up. Let's see. We did that. Bring up Clucherville. That's how we say it over here.
Mm-hmm.
You got it? All right. Here is small town. Here's some members from the Samuel Russell camp in Natchitoches and the Stafford camp in Alexandria did an entry into the small Mardi Gras parade in Clucherville, Louisiana, which is down like just above Alexandria, that area on I-49. One thing I want to mention for sure is the man on the right there is Mr. Robert Porter. He's been a mainstay and a great member of the Louisiana Division for years and years and years. I don't know how long he's been a member, but later this month, we're all going to his 90th birthday party down in Natchitoches. So let's hear it from Mr. Bob. Okay,
Here.
Next, Logansport.
There we go.
All right, here's a float. Was sponsored by the Colonel Beard Camp in Logansport, Louisiana, which is right on the Sabine River with Texas down below Shreveport. And there's members from several different camps here. And I had some other pictures where they have the whole float, and they actually won first place for the marching group and float in that Mardi Gras parade. So really getting the colors and the message out there good. J.C. Hanna told me they just about froze their rebel off to be nice about it. Said it was cold that night. So they, and I've done that, all these Mardi Gras parades I've done at some time in the past, but it's really great. We really have good crowd interaction. They really, love the SCV, especially when you get out into the smaller towns and all, and it's really great. Okay, let's see. Washington Rifles.
Boom.
Okay, this is in the area Matt was talking about. He had relatives in the what we call the Florida parishes, the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. I believe their headquarters in Franklinton, Louisiana, as I see on there. And they're out doing a highway cleanup and got the name on the sign. And of course, there's a lot of camps all over the SCV that do this to get our name out there and to work with the public. So the Washington Rifles was out there doing good works. So shout out to them. Let's see.
Good job. Good job. That's what we like to see.
Oh, I love to see it.
And the last one is the Beauregard Memorial.
Oh, I've been there. I love
Okay.
it. That's
Every
a beautiful
year,
place.
the Beauregard Camp 130 will holds a memorial on the day of Beauregard's death in New Orleans. And for those of you who have not been there, what you're seeing here, this is in Metairie Cemetery, which is technically just outside the city limits of New Orleans, so you don't have to go there. And this is what's called the Army of Tennessee Tumulus, if I said that right. Inside are a lot of the veterans of the Army of Tennessee. And another part of the cemetery in Metairie, they have the Army of Northern Virginia one, which is where Jefferson Davis was first laid to rest before they moved him to Virginia. Well, inside this tomb, one of the graves is Pierre Gustave Touton Beauregard. And so they have a ceremony there where they open it up and you can go in and lay your flowers there in his respects. On the top of that Army of Tennessee is a statue of Albert Sidney Johnston, who, of course, died at the Battle of Shiloh. If you've not been through there, it's really interesting because the height of it, when you go by on I-10, all of a sudden you're looking at eye level at Albert Sidney Johnston sitting there on his horse. I've always thought that'd be a good place for a flagpole, but I don't know what the cemetery regulations are. But if you look closely at that picture, after we got through with the thing in Biloxi, Commander McClooney and Lieutenant Commander Boshears went over and took part in that. And you see Jason standing there in the front, and Larry, I think, is back there behind him closer to the doorway. So I'm sure David White and all the guys down there at Beauregard appreciated them coming over for this event that they do. So that's
David
my
White.
News that I bring so far, all the pictures I've
Hey,
seen.
Chuck, and John Bell Hood buried in that cemetery?
Who?
John Bell Hood.
Yes, he is. In fact, his grave's kind of hard to find. If you go to the Army of Northern Virginia tumulus, and there's a big column on top of that with a statue of Stonewall Jackson on the top, and then there's a circle around it. Then on the back side of one of those circles is where Hood is buried, but his name's not on the top of the tomb because it's the family he was married into's tomb.
Yeah.
And there's a
I've
lot of
seen
other
it.
Confederate and cool stuff there. There's a monument for the Washington Artillery there. There's, of course, a lot of other former Confederates. And right near the Army of Tennessee tomb that I was just showing the picture of is General Richard Taylor's tomb and his family is right there within eye shot of where that picture was. So there's a lot of very interesting. If you're ever in Metairie, take the tour, and it's really worth it to go to that cemetery.
Yeah, that's a neat cemetery.
It would be really expensive. I don't know when did you go out there when we were down there for the last convention?
Yeah, I went down there with you guys when we went. I was with
Yeah.
you. You showed me John Bell Hood's grave.
Yeah, but right next to the Army of Tennessee tomb used to be an empty lot, but now it's got this humongous mausoleum there that Benson bought, the guy that used to own the Saints. So who knows what he paid for that real estate and what he paid to build that tomb for himself right there in the corner there. So
Nicolas Cage has got a pyramid out there.
who?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, he bought a spot out there?
Yeah, it's a pyramid. He's already got it built. He's a crazy person.
Well, if you have a pyramid, it's like brings the energy from the cosmos. Okay, that's the best I can do with Nicolas Cage.
Fair enough. But yeah, let's all give a big cheer to our commander and lieutenant commander, because hopping to events has to be tough, especially for Jason, being up in Tennessee, And so I'm happy they were able to go to that event. I'm happy that it looks like all these events have been awesome. a great week in the SCV. I love to see all these events. I want to thank everybody who sent something in. I want to thank Chuck for showing us a couple more of these events and sending us and letting us talk about it. And that's the premise of the show, folks. So please send all your pictures, short write-ups, and short videos to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Dixie Bell just said he likes my hat. This is actually a Texas Division hat that they gave me at one time. But you'll notice, Alan, I've got my Louisiana Division badge stuck to the side of it here. So if Arkansas would send me something, I'd have more of the ATM here all on my hat. So there you go.
Arkansas.
And I'm wearing an official SCV jacket here. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Chuck is a walking advertisement board for you, Matt.
I need more people like that. Please buy more stuff.
Yeah, some better looking people could be wearing it, maybe would help.
Yeah.
Do we have any said people in the SCV?
What are you talking about?
He said
two of them are on this show.
I'm doing this for both of us. I don't know when you started looking in the mirror.
I'm pretty confident in my looks, buddy. Mary, I'm a trophy husband.
Let's not get
how hard it is to be a trophy husband?
It doesn't sound real manly. Okay.
I am a trophy husband.
If you're watching this, please remember to share the video so we can get information out like this.
Once again, young man, if you want your stuff on Look Around the Confederation, you got to send it in. And
you got to send it in.
SCV, give them the email.
scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com. And also, if you have any camp or division projects, like the camp events we've been talking about, or if your division is doing something, or y'all are doing something to go out there, protect the Confederate soldiers' good name, clean monuments, clean graves, please come on the show and talk about it. And if the event has already happened, send us pictures of it. Tell us what happened. Tell us a couple of good things that we can talk about on the show. And, to do this is – Dig nabbit, I started reading the dead gum comments. That threw me off.
Look at you. Yep, see?
Look what you started. We're having Real House Husbands and Real Housewives of Dixie being talked about in the chat now. So going back to what I actually like about the show, other than the Real Housewives of Dixie, is the fact that I get to see what the camps are doing. I get to see what divisions are doing. I get to hear about y'all's great ideas and projects going on, and who knows? Like, for example, my dad's came on in a past episode and talked about his monument program, a monument protection program.
Hey, watch this. Lee. So as soon as the show's over, send them in.
Yeah. I mean, there's been plenty of times that, like, for example, I tried to make a video for the Battle of Texas Hospital to play it. Video didn't get done in time. My phone wasn't working. My computer wouldn't accept the upload. We'll be talking about that next week. So, yeah, please send it in no matter what. We want stuff to be as fresh as possible, but if you're a week late, trust me, we understand. We've done it, and there's sometimes so much news that we can't cover it in an episode, and it's happened. But, we want to share ideas and we want to promote we're doing good, because the media will never promote what we're doing. They'll never paint us as the good guys. They're always going to make us look villainous. They'll always make us look like we're the bad guys. And yes, Jason, people need to quit fumaring in the elevator. Those are the main points of this show. Complete seriousness and utter confusion of silliness is basically what the show on Thursday stands for. And we're not going – media's never going to give us good coverage. So that's why we want to give it for ourselves. It's up to us. Exactly, Kristen. So
that's right. We're going to circle back.
We'll circle back. Where we circle back?
Circle back.
Circle back. All right. Well, I brought Chuck on to talk about 21st century Confederates. It was the topic of the Stephen D. Lee Institute. Have I just thrown you off, Commander Chuck?
No, I'm here.
Okay. I feel bad for the guest.
Unless you meant that question somehow differently.
Moose sometimes rambles. He gets moose brain.
The tighter I get, and the longer I've done this show, the more I just talk, and that's not good for anybody if we're being honest. But
I think what you're asking is you just want me to summarize what went on.
Yes, that's exactly is what he's asking you.
Yeah, and
it's a good thing that you're an educator.
We had altogether about 70 people, which is pretty good considering we haven't had it for 1 year, and pandemic stuff, and I would imagine we had some people hiding out in their basement in case the Russians were coming. People of my age, that's not a joke, because when I was a kid, when I was a kid,
I know you had to duck and cover.
Every Saturday, they would have the air raid sirens going off to test them because I live across the river from Barksdale Air Force Base. Of course, the upshot of that is if the Russians ever wanted to attack, they would have done it at noon on Saturday when it's always the test of the air raid. So, yes, we learned how to get under our desk and be fried to a crisp and die under our desk. So, be that as it may. So, we had a good turnout. Friday night, we had a nice reception where people just visited. We had some hors d'oeuvre trays. My wife brought some really good king cake over that people seemed to enjoy that quite a bit. And then Saturday morning, when we started out, we had Dylan Myers, the executive director. And what he did is kind of what I want him to do. Besides the history of Beauvoir, they also got into what all the grounds are used for. And so I'm watching the people, and the desired effect was it was click, click, click. We can do these things at Elm Springs also. And we're already doing them, which I pointed out quite a bit, as far as getting people who wouldn't necessarily come to come on our property. Like the weekend we were there, Saturday, we also had a pirate event going on at Beauvoir. And I told Paul, I said, I'm a reenactor of the war. I've never reenacted pirate stuff.
I would love to do that.
Some of it looked pretty Farby to me, even from what little I know about it.
It
looked
was
like maybe a Walmart pirate Halloween costume. Some of it looked good.
I just want to do a lot of stuff where we drink rum.
I'm sure they were doing some of that. And as far as, no, never mind. I won't make that joke. I'll just say the term keel haul and can make your own jokes. They have a big, huge car show there every year. I have a brother-in-law has a classic Mustang, and he goes down there for their cruising on the coast thing. And Beauvoir, they said the first year they had like 5 cars. The next year they had 270 cars. So I talked to Adam, that might be a cool thing y'all could do at Elm Springs is have a car show one weekend. And so there was a lot of that. And then the next speaker, I had Eric do 21st Century Confederate talking about technological stuff, about the kind of things you have to look out for on the internet and protect yourselves, and other also ways we can use emerging technology to our benefit. And one of the things that we're not even using that we have is on our login on our webpage, SCV webpage, we can set up some forums and have our own discussions there that, in theory, nobody else can see. And I don't know how many people even ever tried to log in to that, but you need to go on there and y'all can cover this later how to do that if you want, and set up your account and go in. And that's also how you can pay your dues online and a whole bunch of other stuff. So check out your membership login stuff on the SCV webpage. And then the next speaker we had was Carl Jones, and he talked about the culture of being Confederate and the 21st century and our what our roots are that we've built upon. Then the afternoon, we really got into the programs that we're doing going forward. Commander Gramlin talked about a lot of the challenges that we've faced up to this point and things that we tried that sometimes worked or didn't work. And he talked about our level of commitment to what we're doing and how that has, maybe the seminal effect upon how much we're successful. Is how committed we are to fighting this fight. And then after that, Donnie Kennedy went on and talked about how the Makes Dixie Great Again and the Confederate Legion can be used moving forward. And some of the really interesting stuff of that is, there's things we can do that are not dependent on the media or if Facebook or Twitter will let us talk or not. Mm-hmm. There are grassroots things we can do. And one of the things I pointed out when we were having our panel discussion at the end, the whole American Revolution got a kickstart from one guy writing a pamphlet called Common Sense, Thomas Paine, that really turned a whole lot of people into, we don't have to go with this king thing. It was a very simple little thing, and it was just common sense. So just leaving things like the Southern Defender newsletter that they do, I think I got the title right on that, and talking to people in person, calling in shows, grassroots stuff we can do that they can't shut down, and to your relatives. And one of the things that we did the panel discussion at the end, and I said, one of the things, and everybody watching this can do this too, on the SCV YouTube page and on the Make Dixie Great Again page, we've got 6 or 7 of those videos like you just saw during the break. Go on there. Don't copy the link to the page. Play the video. Get the link that will actually play the video. Paste that on your Facebook page and send it out to everybody that you're friends with, and paste that link to everybody you have an email address for, and do one of those each week for the next 6 weeks. I wouldn't mind if I saw the same commercial 100 times in my feed. That means there's a whole lot of other people that are doing it. Right, Ron, the SCV camp, we're talking about on the ground. This is where it has to be done, to handing out the newsletters, to forwarding in the commercials that we have, to showing up and talking at gun shows and local festivals. And it can't be done from headquarters. We don't have that many people, and that's not their job at headquarters. Their job is to run the business side that serves the members. The members are our army and our officer, our general, and it's up to our members to utilize the weapons that the SCV as a whole can put into your hands. And we have a lot of weapons that we have ready to put into your hands. You just have to pick them up and join the fray. Each individual person.
Exactly. And
Sermon number 18-4.
That's something we've talked about on this page a lot, especially me and you, especially me and Kristen Lee, is basically the concept of what a 21st Confederate looks like. What does a 21st
You know what it looks like?
fight?
Go look in the mirror.
Yeah. How do they fight?
It needs to be, everybody in the SCV needs to be utilizing what we have available to us. Confederates and Southerners are ingenious people. We can figure out ways to do things when we're told we can't do them. Where there's a redneck, there's a way. All that kind of good stuff. We can get our word out even if we don't have the ear of national media outlets. We have grassroots way we can do it, and there's not much they can do about that. You looked around the world and how successful guerrilla warfare. Well, Alan, yeah, your mirror would crack. I should have said, except Alan, don't do that. Around the world, how successful guerrilla warfare is. You talk about this thing that's going on with Russia now. They got ran out of Afghanistan. You wouldn't think a bunch of Afghanis could run out the Soviet Union, but they did it. And the Chechens did it, because when you're holding your own ground, it's your home ground. You know where all the trees and ditches are. You've got an advantage. In fact, back even during the American Revolution, one of the politicians in England said, the Americans have the advantage here. Our soldiers are fighting for pay, and theirs are fighting for their homes. And it's kind of the way, we are in a Cold War, Civil War right now. The people, is it going to be a Civil War? We're already in it, except it's a Cold War. They're attacking us economically and through propaganda and the media and all that stuff. It's a Cold War. There are ways that we can fight back that are grassroots guerrilla warfare, even in the modern era.
Yeah, and my favorite thing was I was really looking forward to that past weekend because I'm a big person on trying to fight in the 21st century. Of course, I'm of that generation, so it makes more sense. But, using social media, using technology, but keeping with the stuff that they can't stop either, like the Southern Defenders, sending them out, using every tool we have available here in the SCV to get out there and first teach people and get our name out. Show people we're not the bad guys in this situation. We're fighting for Second Amendment rights. We believe that too. I remember Donnie talking about that. Reaching other types of people, and together we can beat this cancer culture craziness that has swept the nation and the world, really.
We have something that's worth preserving. A lot of people do. I'm not saying us and us only. If they were trying, and they did in one century, to wipe out the Irish heritage in New York and places like that, they had to stand up for themselves. And today, they're kind of, an accepted part. They have the St. Patrick's Day parade, and everybody does St. Patrick's Day, even though they don't understand it. And a real Irishman would gag at the thought of green beer and sort of things like that. But, we're not looking for the overthrow of the United States. We're looking for the respect we're due for our history, our heritage, and the right to celebrate it just like any other free people would.
Exactly. And, I think everybody here on the show, everybody watching believes our heritage is worth fighting for. But you said it best. Right now, we are in a cold civil war. And I remember when Commander Paul was talking about what he was talking about, some of the obstacles we face right now. And one of the things that is called into question a lot at SCV events and big time stuff that we promote and things that people need to show up for, and no one does it. And it's not for the good reasons like family emergency, work, or, just simply, I can't do it, I don't have enough money. It's, I'm at home chilling. Or, that's too far. I don't like to toot my own horn. And that goes back to what Jason always says. But when I was elected adjutant for my camp, I made a commitment to be the adjutant of my camp. I drive a 4-hour drive almost every odd month to go to my hometown, represent my camp as their adjutant, give the adjutant's report, and then at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, a 4-hour drive back to my college so I can get up in the morning and go to college. And that's something that I don't think is a big deal. That's just me doing what I was elected to do. And for something that's even longer or worse, it's what we have to do right now, guys. We are in a battle. And it's not a battle we're going to win with our hands. This is not a fight, quote unquote, like I said earlier. This is something we have to win by getting our word out there. Being present at stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Paul said, Commander Paul said it best. If the enemy cannot see your spirit at events. Wait, I'm sorry. I completely read that wrong. The enemy cannot see your spirit. In other words,
the phrase, I'll be there in spirit, don't cut it. The enemy can't see your spirit there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, let me add a little lanyard. And for you folks who aren't familiar with that Louisiana term, lanyard means something extra, a bonus. So here's a lanyard. Not only if you show up for these events, are you doing something for the cause, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to some parade with 15 or 20 of your fellow SCV Confederates. It's a lot of fun to hang out and share and you may not even talk about the SCV half the time. You may talk about hunting and fishing some movie you saw. It's the camaraderie. It's the bond we have as compatriots in SCV. It's like going to a family reunion with the family you like. Okay. So that's another benefit or lanyard of doing these things. It's a lot of fun, and it's really fulfilling to spend time with your extended family at events like this. And the more of them you do, the more of them you really want to do. Yeah. I know from experience.
Yeah, when I started going and actually meeting and talking to people, it helped that want to go out there and do it, because I have an SCV family now. I'm very close with a lot of people in the SCV now. So it helps when you start getting to know people at these events. You can go up to them, catch up. It's an awesome time. I had a great time this weekend at Stephen D. Lee Institute, and I might have spent not even the whole event there. I went for the lecture. Still had a great time learning, catching up with all my friends. Let me put what Carl said. Our entire culture, our entire way of life, and the American way of life is what at stake here, people. Our Southern heritage is completely at stake here. If we don't do anything, by the time I have kids, at the most, by the time I have grandkids, they will not be able to celebrate the Confederate heritage. That's what's at stake. That's the timetable I will personally put on it.
I'll give you a line that you didn't get to hear because you weren't there Saturday night, but it's been used several times. It's last Commander in Chief Chris Sullivan. He's used this line before, and when he gave the speech at the banquet, he talked about what a Confederate is, and that was really instructive also. But I've heard him use this before, and he finishes up. He says, in the world today, America is the hope of the West. If we're going to hold on to Western kind of Christian culture, America is the stronghold for that in the world. And the hope for America is the South, because the South is where the heart and soul and the main values of America are the strongest now. And the SCV plays a big part should be in what the South is and holding our place in the world, and therefore helping out the kind of civilization and values that we believe are the best for us to live by. I don't want to live under communism or socialism or any of that kind of stuff, or any kind of autocracy or tyranny. My God, just look what's happened in countries that have histories of liberty in some ways, like Canada and Australia. Boom. We're an emergency and they're declaring tyranny. How close is Justin Trudeau to Abraham Lincoln right now? Ronald Reagan once said that our freedom is only one generation away from losing it. And that's true. How long does it take for stuff to be forgotten? Like in 1984, you get rid of the words, you get rid of the thought, you get rid of the concept. And we have to be the ones to keep those things alive.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely. I think that's a good place to end the show tonight.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Glad I could help. Thanks for having me on. I enjoy it.
Well, I got to get in and do some eating because I'm getting hungry. So, and we've been at it for 54 minutes. So, but I think it was a great show. You guys said we had a lot of good information put out tonight. Keep sending us those emails and pieces of news so we can put them out. And make sure you join us on Monday night as we have Charles Ray on Monday night as our special guest on SCV Chat. As always, thank you, Chuck, for coming on.
First.
Chuck, I want to thank you for coming on again. We appreciate it. It's always good to have you on.
Thank you.
So, as always, stay Southern, my friends. We'll see y'all next week.